Hi, this is Mike Reagan, chairman of the Reagan Group and the Reagan Legacy Foundation. You know, when I'm in Boston or when I want to be on radio, I'm with Stu Taylor. You should be with Stu also. Have a great day.
All right, wishing you a great day as well. I'm delighted to change the topic as we hit the bottom of the hour here. This is Stu Taylor, and we've got a lovely lady on from Illinois, and her name is Joann Fastoff. She is the author of The Smoke Ring. It is published by Author House. You can go to authorhouse.com, barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com. The book is available in paperback and hardcover, and I'm going to give you her website so you can get more information on the book after the interview, and I will spell it. It's joannfastoff.com, JoannFastoff.com. And it's a pleasure to have you on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stu. Glad to be on.
All right, we got a book, a mystery. Has life for you been a mystery? Let's get into the analysis here. Why you wrote the book, and a little bit about your background.
Well, let's see. The reason why I wrote the book is because the book is based on tobacco smuggling, the tobacco smuggling industry in the United States, and that I was informed that the tobacco smuggling industry was much more profitable than even the heroin smuggling industry in the United States. So that really piqued my curiosity. And so after researching this and coming from the state of Illinois, which is basically bankrupt, our governor decided that he was going to increase the cigarette tax, believing that it would help defray the cost of our budget and also deter any young people from smoking, and it has done neither. It hasn't balanced our budget, and it's not going to deter young people from smoking.
All right. Have you been an activist of sorts with any background in this, or purely have evolved as a writer? I'd like a little more depth in terms of you, the person, and why you chose this.
Well, I chose this particular topic because I'm kind of an activist. I write about environmental issues. I've written for Examiner.com. I wrote probably over 100 articles for them because I guess I'm a closet activist, but I let my characters preach instead of me preaching to my reader. But I worked for a comprehensive alcohol and substance abuse treatment center for over 8 years, and it was always about the taxes. We were being, inundated by taxes, raising taxes, and then when we realized that the governor was going to raise taxes on cigarettes, and a lot of the people who become clean and sober smoke, that's just one more thing that they can't afford. And and although cigarettes are legal, nicotine is addictive, and I don't understand why cigarettes are legal and marijuana isn't, because I don't know anybody who has had a joint that night and wake up the next morning and need a joint like they would a cigarette. So that was kind of close to me in the sense that my friends who are clean and sober, that cigarette taxes were going to go up, and that was just one more thing that they couldn't afford.
All right, I'd certainly love to get into a long discussion about that, but if we do, we're not going to be able to cover the book. So let me get back to the book. Talk about the theme, what the book is about, and a little bit on the character development. Okay. Okay.
This is my fourth book, and it's based on an FBI agent named Howard Watson, and I always write about the mysteries and intrigue for Howard Watson that the conflict takes place off U.S. shores, but impacts us anyway. So I decided here's one more thing that I can, be an activist about, but through Howard Watson. And there's a bootleg ring. It's called The Directive, which I made up, of course. And this particular group, steals cigarettes from low-tax states, which the tobacco plantation states like Maryland and Tennessee and, the Virginias. And then they sell those cigarettes in other states have a higher tax, like Illinois. So the cigarette ring would buy steal cigarettes in North Carolina, where the tax is 45 cents per cigarette pack. Then they sell them in Illinois or Chicago for where the tax is $9, and they're making an unbelievable profit. So my protagonist, FBI agent Howard Watson, gets into the case, and he's trying to break up this tax ring, this smoke ring, and that's really the gist of my story.
Is there any gender aspect to this? I mean, as to why you chose a male protagonist?
Yeah, because I think there are a lot of women out there who are already the protagonists, and Howard Watson is a black man, and he's fluent in Russian, and I just thought that he's a great character. I mean, if I was a guy, I would want to be him. He's not perfect, but he's not on drugs. He doesn't have a criminal background. He loves his family, and I just thought that Hollywood doesn't highlight that kind of black man often enough. And he's not perfect, but he's terrific, and he's on the case.
Where do you generally come up with your topics? Do you go to a variety of sources, or is it pretty much confined?
Well, I like to read global news. So I read U.S. News and World Report, or I read the Wall Street Journal, or I read on internet global things, and I look to see where there's some kind of conflict. And when I see that conflict, and I ask, like, maybe my friends about the conflict, they've never heard of it, then I pretty much say, oh, I have creative license here. I never change the conflict. That's not my job. I'm a writer like, we know the Titanic happened, but did Jack and Rose Dawson live? I don't know. So I write about one person's story with that kind of historic backdrop, without changing that backdrop, but changing my one character's story.
Do you have any role models in the literary end of it? And if so, why have you kind of modeled after them?
Well, I loved Nancy Drew mysteries. I always thought that I could be Nancy Drew. I loved them. They were so whimsy, but yet there was an end result, Then I moved on, and I loved William Shakespeare because he was succinct. And my books are not that thick. They're for people who have 2.5 hours time to read a book, and that's me. And then Walter Mosley taught me how to deepen a problem before I solved it. And then James Baldwin taught me how to write about a character, describe them perfectly so that you knew exactly what that person looked like.
Well,
those are my 4 role models.
You have thought this through. I commend you on such a profound way to approach this. A lot of people, and it's not a criticism of people who have different styles, but you have certainly done your research and taken the best from a lot of great people. My guest is Joann Fastoff. The book is The Smoke Ring. It's available through Author House, and again, her website is joannfastoff.com. JoannFastoff.com. Who is the target readership for this book? Who are you reaching out to? You can't be everything to everyone.
And I try not to be. My target audience, it would be a person that wants to read something exciting and fast. They have 2.5 to 3 hours. Maybe they ride the bus to work in the morning, or they take the train, and they can read my book every morning and every evening coming home, and they have something that's exciting. Or maybe my target is a person who just missed their flight, or their flight was canceled, and then they remember they have my book, and then they don't want to put it down. It's someone who's kind of busy and says, I don't have time to read that, but they have time to watch a 2.5-hour movie. And so there I am. I fit right in there. But I think that I write exciting stories, and where people might say, where did she get this from? And then I invent things. So I have a lot of creative license. So I think that people who want to read something exciting and fast, that would be me.
All right, I'm going to tap into your creativity. And I'm going to ask you in the remaining minute or so to either give us a synopsis of the book or perhaps answer a question that I never really asked. How about that one, Joann?
That would be great.
All right, go for it.
Let's see. How about a question you've never asked me? How did I get started writing?
All right.
I was 12 years old, and I wrote and directed and produced my first play in my parents' basement, and I got the bug.
All right.
The name of my play was called Mystery of the Closed Door.
All right. What's next for you? Can you tell us what's coming up?
Right. Well, let's see. I know you don't know this, but my last book just won an award, so I have this little tour that I'm going on because I
give us the name of the book.
Oh, okay. The name of the book is called The Lie, L-I-E, and it's about the conflict diamond war, but told from the victim's perspective from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It's another Howard Watson mystery intrigue also. And that book won an award just 2 weeks ago for excellence in literature.
Congratulations. Appreciate having you on, Joann Fastoff, the Smoke Ring Author House. Good luck. I hope we see you back here. This is Stu Taylor.